Well, I would comms Chan to stay very still.
Mm-hmm.
Like to try and get him to not be the target. And then I would want to make myself the target again, so I guess I would shoot at it.
Okay. Shoot away. Remember to burst fire.
Meg, he's dead. It's okay. You don't have to.
Stop it.
Oh yeah, hit the shit out of this thing, dealing a hefty amount of damage to it, and it kind of rears back, and you can see the sizzling. There's steam rising from it. It is quite damaged from that, and it is angered, but is perhaps a little bit more wary now that it is approaching death at a rapid rate.
Mama Bear doesn't mess around.
Mm-hmm. Anything else from you, Jojo?
Mm-mm.
Right, Oscar.
Mm.
So you can poke it in the butt. There's also this new creature that's appeared behind you and is like looking around and for things and stuff.
So does that one have a bead on me right now?
It does not. It will, on its turn, it will attempt to sense you. But
yeah, so I think what happens to the one that I am, the one that just tried to dive at me, since I was already engaged with that previously,
yeah,
I'm going to use my offhand sword, and as it like dives into the ground, like as it's passing me,
yeah,
he's just gonna try and stick it right in the side and like let it do the work.
Yeah, sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
so I'm gonna try and take my, one sec. AC again, remind me.
AC is 6.
CX.
Yeah. Nice. So you, and it wrenches open, and you see this slime and this viscera just being spewed all over the ground. And you can see like the folds of the rest of the body as it's sliding on the ground, like beginning to contract in pain and like kind of writhe around a little bit. And the creature is clearly in like intense trauma at this point, as it continues to like slide into the ground. I'm saying it that way because you believe it not to be a threat anymore.
Yeah, I want it not to come back.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's dead. I don't care.
You've caused a wound great enough that the creature is retreating underground at this point.
Okay. I don't care about whether or not a body after the battle is like sparkling for me to loot.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it again.
Totally. Understood.
Okay. So I still have my movement then, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
I am going to... Let's see here. I think I'm going to reposition myself over this way a bit. Because I hear like all this, I don't want to be near this guy necessarily, but I also want to try and get vision on what's happening over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although Roll20 is not making that easy for me.
Yeah, well, it's the handling. So you were like right here. You should be able to see stuff right now, right?
Oh yeah, now I can.
Yeah, and just so you're aware, like, because you also need to be able to see this. You basically move around, like you move around here, and then get to like
maybe I actually am glad to be not directly in line of sight with that other one.
Yeah, you're actually behind like a rubble pile that's in between you and
I want to
flank
this guy. That's what I want.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not paying attention to you. He's worried about everything else going on, like the person shooting him.
Done deal.
All right. So it's Dr. Fisher's turn. Dr. Fisher is going to pull himself from the rubble. He's going to retreat in this direction because he feels as though, remember, he's on the ground level. Feels as though Oscar and friends are probably his safest bet. And then once he gets there, he's going to fire over his shoulder. His massive creature, hoping to end it forever. So he fires, and the creature kind of recoils, and you see it. It kind of like shrieks this nasty, and kind of probably like stumbles a little bit, quote unquote, and like falls into the side of the cliff, and is kind of like slumped down. It's like weaving back and forth. Dr. Fisher has done enough to it to make it be in retreat, quote unquote. He's defeated the monster, but obviously these things they don't just die from laser fire. And Dr. Fisher lets out a hoop and a holler, probably sounding a little something like, "Oi, that's right, mate!"
Because he's Australian.
Yes. Australian and Cockney are basically the same.
Very similar, yeah.
So that brings us to Fortune. Now, Fortune, it's still a target. You could still shoot at it, even though you're aiming at it for a whole turn. And it might cause it to not like flail around or do anything crazy the next turn. But you can also, and I'm going to move you just so you can see it. There is also this guy.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
This guy right here.
Yeah, that's not, just leave me right there. That sounds great.
And he is very visible to you.
Yeah.
So you could always take an action against him if you wanted to. It would probably draw him away from the sounds of battle in the other direction.
I mean, but do I want to do that though? Yeah,
It's up to you.
Do that. I'm gonna shoot that guy then.
Okay. All right. So AC of 6.
Yeah.
Oof. Strike
Bang.
a hefty blow into the creature, and it screeches in pain as Viscera is like rocketed out the other side. Because it's a sniper rifle, this thing, it doesn't stop it, right? It's a through and through easily. There's like a hole in it now where it's just like dripping this ooze down the side of its body, and screeches with that sound again, kind of recoiling from the blow. Anything else? Are you gonna reposition, or are you gonna just stay right there and?
Yeah, I'm gonna move. That's how snipers work. Shoot, move.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to move back up the cliff, just let me know. I can put you back up there.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm actually. Hold on.
Yeah, you were right here, so you moved like 2.5 meters.
Yeah. Probably just jump behind here and then prone again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get a little bit of cover, but to where I can still see.
Absolutely. So, you are out of its sense range right now, Fortune. In fact, Oscar, you're the only one in its sense.
Oh, sorry.
So, Oscar, can you roll me a stealth check? But because you're not like you're on the other side of a bunch of stuff, even though it doesn't have vision, it still kind of like masks. And also, there's this big creature going underneath it. You can add 2 to your roll.
There's some commotion there.
Yeah, you can add 2 to your roll for sure. You can assist yourself 2, and it's not going to get any bonus.
Yeah, it doesn't have any. Well, I mean, it can roll for it, obviously.
I mean,
no.
You said that, but it would have been funny if I would have got it.
Oh yeah, if you got another 13, I would have been eating my words.
Yeah.
But...
So in its confusion, it's actually going to. It begins to slide in this direction, and you guys can't see it, but it's kind of in the middle of the, in the middle here. And Oscar, from behind you, you hear a mechanical click, 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 click. And then, in fact, I think that Fortune, you see this just before it happens. you notice that there's another flag over there.
I'm sorry, what?
That there's another flag over there, and then all of a sudden,
Huh.
as it travels over the mines, it explodes.
Equal opportunity environmental hazard.
And
Yeah.
Oscar, you turn back and you look, and it begins raining on you. But like,
Gross.
but you like you put your gauntleted hand like up to the faceplate and you like pull it away, and it's just slime
Yeah.
that is now like
shield up like an
yeah,
umbrella.
like umbrella,
He
sure.
just like stands in
So,
it.
from like the waist down, you're covered in slime, and from like the elbow to your shoulder, you're covered. But the rest of you is like pretty well protected. It's not dangerous slime, and they don't.
If anyone still knew like what Family Double Dare was
Yeah,
on Nickelodeon,
yep.
Mhm.
Or any Nickelodeon show that had
Right.
GAC at all.
early 90s Nickelodeon
yeah.
Oscar.
Only 90s kids will get this reference, but yes. Perfect.
Fun fact: my family was a test family for some of this stuff at Family Double Dare.
What?
Oh right, Florida.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yay effects.
They're so pretty. Look at them. They're like fireworks.
Really upping the production value here.
God, if that's upping the production value, we're done for. However, what that does mean is it's Chan's turn, because technically this thing is still a target. Now Gogo, you told Chan exactly what to do. There's a problem with that, though. Chan is no longer your servant. He is, in fact, your protector now, as per the accordance you have with him. So I'm gonna roll something for him, and we're gonna see if he actually listens to that command or not.
Roll an autonomy check.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically in this case, it's a mental effect save to not do something awfully dumb. Okay, good. So you see Chan, who has now slung his rifle over his shoulder, and he's pulled out a long combat knife. And he dives off of the cliff and is going to try and land on this thing with his knife directly in its head. And he's Chan. I'm sure that'll be fine. Sure, everything will be fine. Let me just primitive strength. Yeah, there we go. So first, I'm going to roll an athletics check with dexterity, just to make sure he doesn't kill himself. Totally fine. Totally can do this with an 8. He's going to deal some damage. Ha! So, he strikes true.
Yo.
He strikes
Sweet.
true. And as he attaches himself to the head of this thing, he calls out over comms to you, Gogo. He says, "Mistress, run away. I will handle this one."
Coco's just like, Jan, what are you, Jan, no! And then, like, you probably hear it cut
Yeah,
off.
and the creature's like flailing about, right? It's like now it has this thing on its head. So it's still it's retreating. It's not a threat anymore, but it is still a target. So being its turn, it is going to attempt to shake Chan off. Which we'll see how well it does at that. So with strength, it rolls an 11. Let's see what Chan rolls. Chan rolls a 7. So Chan is tossed from it. It's his knife still in the head, And I'm gonna roll a 1d8 directional here, because it does matter in which direction he falls. 1 being north, obviously. Okay, all right. So he falls this direction, and he tumbles off, and he's going to take the 2d6 that you guys all took for your fall damage. Also rolled an 8. Good. And the creature, having done that, it dives underground and begins burrowing its way down. And during its turn, it vanishes from view, leaving a large hole in the ground. Large, I mean, let's make this larger. Large cavernous hole in the ground. Enter. And with that, you're no longer in combat.
Over comms, Oscar says, "Nice work, Shan."
I think he replies to you, Oscar, and he
good
says,
form.
"Yes, but my weapon is lost. It is part of the honor. Yes, you taught me that."
Oscar, as he's saying that, he floats one of his spares over. He just like pulls one of the like dozen spare monoblades that he has.
Sure.
and he says, "Chen, here you go. What you did is honor enough."
I will remember this gift, Oscar. Thank you. So, we are now moving about the cabin of our own free will.
Can I get over this? Is this like
yeah, so it's like difficult terrain here. But Gogo, when you get up there, can you roll me a perception check, please? With wisdom, obviously. So, I'm sure you noticed, but I'm sure you just kind of took it for effects that I had put on there because I'm a cool GM. But this looks awfully like a pod here. Mostly intact. See this yellow thing underneath, this yellow ship? It looks like a pod, and it looks... I won't say modern. It's very clearly like an old model from what you see. But, can you not get your sword, Oscar?
Nope.
There you go. Yeah, it looks like an older model. But it does look like that it is newer than the surrounding debris. Just let me know when you want to go over the border there, Fortune.
Yeah,
I would like to go over.
You too, Oscar.
Yeah, I'm just exploring the general area right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gogo's first priority is to get Dr. Fisher to assist Chan, because he took quite a fall.
Yeah, so Dr. Fisher carefully... Oops. Put this on the map. There we go. Dr. Fisher carefully kind of like crawls over the debris, trying not to fall in the hole.
Carefully walking around.
Yeah, and gets around to begin treating Chan.
And then I'm obviously gonna investigate.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Fortune, you're in a cross. I apologize. I thought I'd put you across. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. So as you like clear some of like the kind of just surrounding debris, you see that it's actually a hold on, Oscar, go back. Where are you?
I was just around the bend and I noticed something.
No, that's fine.
I meant to ask if that's actually.
Yeah. No, you stop moving right there for a moment.
Part of the,
yeah. You stop moving right there for a moment. So
yeah.
I'll come back to you in a moment. So Gogo, you're like moving some of the side debris around, and you get a better look at this pod here. So it's actually a dual seater pod, which are I think more rare here on Thune at least. I believe that if I've got Thune correct, it's a lot of individual pride, and there's not a lot of sharing that happens on Thune most of the time.
Every man for themselves.
Right, yeah, exactly. So the tandem pods are much more rare, which is probably why this looks so kind of out of place in this particular instance. But distinctly, this particular pod doesn't look like it crashed. It looked like maybe there was, it not parked. It looks like you can tell that, it landed here not of its own free will, but it doesn't look, as fast as pods go. It's not smashed like all of the other rubble and debris around here. Maybe there was some mechanical failure, or, maybe it was driven out here on purpose and parked, like who knows. So what do you want to know about it as you're clearing the debris around it?
Does it have any like advertisement or yeah, because like pod racers always had like companies that sponsored them. So is there any do I notice any recognizable sponsors that I might link to a person, because GoGo has a encyclopedic knowledge of important racers?
Yeah, let's see here. So, good one. So it has a sponsor that you do recognize, called the Teradyne Translite Merchants. I'll write that down in that. So the Teradyne Translite Merchants are a developer of like home life accessories. Essentially, their whole goal is to make living a bit easier for people, to take out the tedium of everyday living. In fact, their slogan is "Dreaming of a Focused Life," right? And they're very capitalistic, I guess you could say, in a world that isn't quite such all the time. And they generally sponsor quite a few racers because they do pretty aggressive marketing campaigns. They're a Thune-based business, and they, as far as you're aware, they haven't ever moved off of Thune. They exist primarily on Thune, but they are seen in the racing world as kind of a little commercial. It's kind of, not that it's tacky to be sponsored by them, but it is generally something that you start off with a sponsorship from Teradyne Translite, and then you make a name for yourself and you get better sponsors.
Right. It's like an intro sponsor.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
So whoever this was maybe wasn't as experienced as the racers, which is also interesting because know
the
that
course that they're on.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's unusual.
Yes, exactly correct.
Means that it's even more out of place. Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes me even more interested, because now I realize that it's not just even more so, it's not just a regular ship for this area. So I guess GoGo's trying to look for the cockpit hatch.
Okay. Yeah. So do you wanna move some stuff out of the way and get in there?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, don't worry, Oscar. You're fine. Okay. So why don't let's make this a check of some sort. Why don't you roll me a what would be an appropriate check? Why did they all go? There we go. I think that maybe it is just an athletics check with strength in this instance, because you're physically trying to maneuver around and move pieces so you can get in there. So just roll me an athletics check with strength.
Arthur standing there, noticing me struggling to move things, would he assist or?
Fortune.
Sorry, I was muted because I was eating food.
Acceptable.
Would you enjoy assistance? Would you
Yes,
like some
please.
assistance?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Athletics?
So yeah, roll athletics with strength.
So then assisted is a plus.
Yep. You can get a +1 for a 6. Yep. As in life, Fortune is half-heartedly kind of helping you, but he is helping. So he's doing a thing where like he's still got his pistol, like his hand on his pistol, and he's like using one hand to like raise things for you. So it's minimal assistance, but it is there. So yeah, so you shove some of the debris out of the way. You probably toss some into like the giant pit that's next to it now. And eventually you do find the cargo hatch, and you wipe away like a lot of the dirt and grime, right? Because it's like all caked on, and you know the sediment from all of the weird toxic air, and that's kind of thick and overwhelming here. So you wipe it all off, and as you like kind of see through the fog glass, you do that thing where like you put your exosuit mask up next to it, and as you're looking,
they do spooky movies right before something scary happens.
Maybe. And like as your vision begins to adjust, you see that there is clearly like a skeletal remains sitting in the cockpit, but only one body in there. And the tense music stops.
Right. Gogo respects the dead. She's not gonna pop open the cockpit on it. Why did the turn order return?
I was just
I don't like that at all.
I was just clearing it. I promise.
Listen, man, you can't do that to us.
You can't do that to us, man. That makes my heart hurt. Scary.
But no, really, Oscar, can you roll initiative for me?
Yeah. Oh, for real?
Yeah, have you looked at your character lately?
What is
I forgot to click my So I got a 9.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, good.
Oh, well, that's good. Which direction is Oscar?
Well, I mean, he gets his turn first, but so we're dealing with something right now. We'll get back to that. Okay. So nobody else needs to roll initiative yet. It's totally fine.
Can Dr. Fisher heal each other and themselves at some point while this other thing is happening?
Let me see how many medkits Dr. Fisher has on him. How many did he write down? Because that's what I'm going with. He has. Oh, okay. It says 0 on here.
What?
Well, that's good.
He's got a bunch of credits. I'm gonna give him 4. Actually 2, because he's gonna use one on himself and one on Chan.
That's weird, because he said that he had enough and gave me one at the beginning of this mission.
Bookkeeping sucks.
But okay.
So this is for Chan. Holy shit.
Holy shit, yeah.
Chan's alive again.
Damn.
And then for himself.
Those ones, though.
I know, right? The fact that it's still a 10 is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that seems appropriate.
So you get for not writing down the correct number of medkits.
Yep.
Reroll? This seems like a reroll situation.
Yeah, sure. You can reroll that. Yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't like. I can't really make that decision, so I need you guys to speak up.
He rerolls it.
Yeah.
Okay, so he gets an additional 2d6. I was waiting. I was waiting for 2 more ones. I'm just throwing that out there. I was like,
I know.
I felt it in my soul coming. Okay, cool. So Go. Yes, you see the skeletal remains in there. Dr. Fisher is tending to Chan, which basically, so like in an environment like this, what that consists of is basically just shooting you up with drugs.
Yeah, drugs.
Because you can't actually patch wounds, which you guys don't really have wounds to patch. It's all like contusions now at this point. It's basically just painkillers. He's just getting himself and Chan hyped up on painkillers.
Can I get a couple of those?
Yeah, Fortune wasn't invited to that party.
His stock is gravely depleted because someone decided they got addicted to them.
Oh.
Sorry, not sorry.
So yes, Go. What is the next step when you get that? You try and like find the seal on it?
No, I don't know. I don't want to open it to disrespect the dead. Especially, it's very, I feel like, against racer code to have somebody who died that way to,
Sure.
disrespect their remains. But I am wondering if perhaps somebody with better computers than I could still access the nav log from perhaps outside.
Ooh, yeah, I'd probably have to like,
because that's what I'm at. Like that's what I'm
Sure.
after. But
yeah,
I don't think I know enough personally. Like I could direct them as to where it might be, but like in order to actually access it, I don't
yeah.
know that Go actually know how to do that.
I think that actually is a two-part role because typically that you would pull the data from inside the cockpit, right?
Right, which is what I was intending on doing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was confused. When I said the seal, I thought I was like speaking of like the seal for the cockpit. But you meant for like the suit that they were wearing.
No, I meant for the cockpit, like to open the cockpit
Right.
where the
No.
skeletal remain is.
Right. No, I understand.
They will forgive you.
Yeah. Earlier when I said, "Are you going to try and
Fine.
find the seal?" I meant, "Are you going to try and find the seal of the cockpit?" And then you said no, so I was confused. Not a big deal. So yeah. So why don't you roll me a vehicle grav check with intelligence? Just because this is an older model, you've probably never seen it before. You're gonna have to find the release. It's not gonna be particularly hard, but a failure might look like something like, well, it's not a failure, so you're fine. So you find the latch and you kind of like you yank up on it and it kind of like creaks like because it's stuck, and then finally, and then you see like all the air fly out, and you can tell from that reaction that it was still pressurized. It's clear that whatever this person died from, it wasn't exposure, right? And if you could smell in this moment, in fact, it's probably one time in Gogo's life she's really glad she has an exosuit on, because it would be rank. And so the cockpit like slides back and then rises up a little bit so you can kind of see down in there. And you see that there's it's clearly the co-pilot is the one that's in the seat and has the harness on and has the flight jacket still on, and the pilot's chair is empty, so you could like slide down into that and then see if you can get it working. I think the problem here isn't accessing the navigation logs, it's power is the problem here. So you might have to find a way to like route some power into it mechanically.
What were the lanterns being powered by that my dad was leaving?
Oh, right. So he left you little... They were probably like... I mean, they're probably... Somebody has batteries, I'm sure. I think Dr. Fisher has some.
I have laser batteries for rifles.
Well, you know who does have a generator on them.
Yeah, you know who is a battery.
Well,
but who is
so
also
yeah, no. This is a perfect segue.
Fine.
So,
no, that's perfect. I say, hey, Oscar, you still got that generator over comms?
Yeah, and as
Yeah.
she says that, oh, you didn't select your token. Let me put you on there.
No, I didn't.
You.
But I
rolled a 9, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So as she says that, you step on like a patch of ground that your foot kind of sinks into. It's almost like a little bit marshy. And as you do that, very similar to what happened to to Fisher, these little bug fish-like creatures, they kind of poke their heads out and they launch at you. But you're fast and you can react in time.
Yeah. He said, so Gogo, when you come on comms, he says, just a second. And
Oscar, are you?
yeah, hang on.
Okay.
And he's gonna basically just drop a grenade at his feet and
teleport away. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's gonna be like, peace.
Yeah. So still roll versus AC9 just to make sure it doesn't like. At this point, it would be like it bounces off a rock, right? Like that would be the miss in this situation.
No, like this is marshy soil too. I'm gonna argue it just sticks right where he stepped.
I have to make you roll,
but I'm gonna roll it.
Well, okay.
I'm just gonna.
It hits the one patch that sinks too far and won't harm them.
Okay, I'm rolling it. I just gotta figure out where the hell that is on my sheet.
Yeah.
I already have that factored in. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. So you drop it and then you teleport away.
I think a 35 is pretty okay.
Yeah, you roll that 20. It sticks right in the marsh, and it's just perfectly positioned that it will just get the maximum amount of effect. Yeah, and then you just poof away.
Go. He's like probably still saying like, yeah, just a sec. And he appears over on the other side of the ridge, and then you just hear
Oscar?
It's fine.
Yeah, you just see like a little bit of smoke coming up from over the like on top of the plateau as he like leans over and says hi.
Is it a
He says, just there's more. Watch your step.
more what, the big guys? The
bugs.
Oh, okay.
There's bugs everywhere. I hate this place.
Fucking bugs. They're the worst.
I think Chan says, Oscar, are you not technically insectoid yourself?
Non-sentient. There's a difference, Chan. I don't want to get into politics.
Oscar, I do not understand what this word means.
Just watch your step, Chan.
Just nods. So
let me just deduct my grenade. Although I have a bandolier.
You can be there now. So Gogo needs something powered up, Oscar. It's almost like.
Oh yeah, I mean is this like a
so you just gotta
cell kind of deal, or
it's new enough that it operates off power cells. So basically you just have to find where you connect the generator to, right? Like you walk to the back.
I have spare power cells if she just wants to plug one in.
But haven't you been looking for an opportunity?
Yeah, it's almost like I have designed something.
I have 6 that are charged already that you can just...
Sure. I don't care what you hand me. Just hand me something.
Yeah.
Let the record show I will never again place a thing.
Well, here's the deal. And there's rhyme and reason to this. Like, he doesn't want to hook his baby up to something that could potentially damage it.
Yeah.
And
totally.
all of his batteries are nice and charged up and fresh because of it.
Right.
However, that stays safely in his backpack.
Okay.
Because he cherishes it.
Good. So he hands you a power cell, Gogo. And essentially if you could just roll me a post-tech check. Just to put plus to plus and minus to minus and make sure that things are compatible. You know, it's like when you jump your car. There's like that 1% chance that you accidentally do it in the wrong way and
Yeah, you
some
like flip the terminals.
right, and shit goes down. So yeah, no problem. So you find the emergency power induction, right? And you flip you probably like have to like dig the panel out, and like it falls to the ground and clatters, clink clink clink. And then you find the emergency induction, you place the battery in, you turn it, you charge it. It's basically like a nuclear fusion rod, right? You put it in, you turn it, and it clicks into place. And then Fortune, maybe you're like looking up, like looking down on it, and you see lights begin to like flicker, and then like the dusty screens, so like kind of wipe away the dirt and grime from them. But Go-Go, you power it up. It successfully powers up. You have basically enough time on that battery, I would say, powering this sort of thing for 30 minutes or so. So enough time to like download or do whatever diagnostics or whatever you want to do to it. But you said you wanted computers help with that, right?
Well, I mean, it depends on how. I was trying to do it like in a way, like I thought it was gonna be harder to actually get it powered up, but now that I have it powered up, Go-Go knows exactly how to take logs out
absolutely.
of a pod, so I don't really
Yeah,
think that I would need to. All I want is just the last, like most recent, I don't know, 24 hours, whatever of that it has on record its navigation log, plus any diagnostics leading up to it, if
Okay.
possible.
Yeah, you can just have that. That's no problem at all. That's a very basic move.
Okay. Also, though, there are personal ID tags of people who log in to these pods.
Yeah.
If I could retrieve that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a big deal. In fact,
they're the Pog PIDs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Pog personal IDs.
Yep. Correct.
Well, it's like racer IDs, so that in this exact moment, if somebody is dead and they need the freaking pod is toast,
I just
you can't
wanted
tell.
to say Pog PID. I know. I just.
Yes. The PIDs. You have them.
Great. That's all I want. I'm good now.
Yeah, so Dr. Fisher and Chan are both like kind of staring down into this hole that's been like opened up by this creature. And I think Dr. Fisher just like kicks a rock in there and watches it kind of tumble down into the pit. And Chan turns over to the rest of the group and he says, I believe that we were supposed to be finding something, right? Also, what were these things?
Oscar shrugs. Big shrug.
Go-Go's like crawling out of the cockpit and like slams it shut, and she's like, "Did you guys not read the pamphlet?"
Exactly.
This all happened very quickly.
And Go-Go just kind of starts trudging off, like continuing in the direction of the last lantern she saw.
One.
Looking for marshy bug spots. By the way.
So Jordan,
yes.
One. How good of a look did I get at that big shiny gold skull?
Well, it wasn't a skull, but you could definitely tell there was something buried in the rubble over there.
Okay. Two, how far down do I estimate that cavern goes, and does it appear that it is an access point?
This one here?
Is it just a worm tunnel of like certain demise?
Well, yeah. So no, the worm dug itself in there. Like that's where it ran to. So reasonably, you could follow it and find the worm if you wanted to. There you go. You found the path.
I was asking if it seemed to like go into a larger cavern, or if it was just the tunnel.
Yeah, no, it looks like it dug it out in the moment.
Yep, Oscar's done with that. And continues back.
You want to go up top, Oscar? Oh God.
Whoop. Well, you deleted me.
Where even are you? What happened to you?
It's been real, guys.
Where did you go?
It's been good.
You've been teleporting so many times.
Hold on. Wait.
Oscar disappears into the ether. I'm alive. Okay.
There. Now you can be up top with the remains of this creature.
Oh, I was gonna say, you son of a bitch.
Oh, look, a worm.
Yeah, I basically want to go back over to like where the debris was.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see any other
I
like
think I
waypoints?
see a thing.
Yes. So you do see one here. Go.
Just above it?
Yeah,
Or-
above it, indicating this direction.
Okay. I mean, I'm unsurprised by that, but just checking.
Jordan,
Yes.
what is this thing?
So, as similar to the previous, there appears to be a ship here, a grav vehicle, but it is not a pod. This one is this one specifically looks to be a salvaging ship, or a salvaging grab ship, I should say. Because it's a little bit wider. Pods are usually very thin and narrow, and it's a little bit wider in its construction. And it actually looks so. This debris that you see here is actually propped up almost over top of it, and you see that it almost forms like a little carport. Because the vehicle is actually parked. It's not crashed. It's not broken. It's not burning. It doesn't look like it's rubble. It doesn't look damaged in any way. It looks like it's been here for a while. There's definitely a lot of that like kind of slightly greenish sediment that's been built up on it. But yeah, no, it looks like it's parked here on purpose. And because if you can imagine the way this looks, imagine that this, or I should say, imagine that. Let me just draw it freehand. Imagine that all of this part is on the ground, and then these longer beams are connected up to the plateau. So there's actually like a little path that runs through here where this thing is parked.
Got it.
But yeah, distinctly different from the last one. It appears that it was like maneuvered here on purpose and then left here.
I would
We've got another over this way also.
like to knock on the door.
Yeah, so the cockpit area is kind of frosted in. Oscar, can you roll me a perception check while you do that? But the cockpit is kind of frosted in with like the sediment, so you clear it away a little bit.
I know everything. I know. Guys, I know where Gogo's dad is.
Yeah.
Oh, secret message time.
I don't like secrets.
So as you do that, you see that the cockpit is completely empty, Fortune. And you can say something whenever you want, Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar says, hang back. Don't touch it.
Well, it's not this one, Oscar. I was referencing this one.
Okay. That was not clear.
Yeah, sorry. I was referencing this one.
Sure. I thought that was a little bit more urgent.
Yeah. No. So yeah, Fortune, as you're kind of like looking through it, you see that it's empty. You see that it actually looks like it holds probably about 4 people in the cockpit. Obviously, scale is not perfect. And you can see that it's kind of got like an interior cargo area that you can kind of see through the cockpit. If you've ever seen Star Trek, it's probably about the size of like one of the runabouts, right? where it's like the seats maybe 2 to 4 people, but has like a decent amount of like storage area in the back part of it.
It's a UPS truck.
Yeah,
Got it.
basically, yes.
Cool.
Does it have any discernible markings?
This one specifically doesn't. In fact, Gogo, it looks like the yellowish paint job looks like it was designed to cover up any markings that might be on it.
Which is typical, I imagine, for
Right.
these
Yeah,
salvage ships.
yeah, exactly. You don't want to be affiliated. It's safer to be not affiliated with anyone on the outside.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You're much less likely to get shot by other salvagers if you are operating as a freelancer.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar, what about you? What are you doing?
I think he actually does say, still with regard to the other ship, he says, be wary around that. The one over here looks to be rigged. Probably not with our best intentions in mind.
Cool. Rigged how?
So you can point out the wires that appear to be
Yeah.
The ship itself, you can see the kind of wires that are kind of running from it, and they appear to be in different parts of the rubble.
Yeah.
So, like, tripwires?
He says, yeah, if not trip, the same idea.
Okay.
So the
He-
second
he-
Gogo like turns the corner and sees that one, she just exclaims, "That's it!"
Great.
Yay!
Do we
But
need to
then also starts to walk
touch it?
up towards it quickly. So unless you say something otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, he holds a hand up in case you didn't hear it, and he says, "It's rigged. Mind your step." And he says, "Look, all about the rubble. You see the wires."
Does that stop Gogo?
She's like,
I mean, she got a 12. She probably sees the same thing.
Yeah,
think
I don't know if
I
that stops her though.
I
Yeah,
think that for a moment that she does pause, like she recognizes that that is a thing that her father and others do, and like
Yeah.
she should have recognized it sooner, even with the other ships that she was approaching. But she also knows that her father is near and
Mhm.
starts frantically trying to, I would say, probably climb up the side here
Sure.
above it to see if she can get a view of like where she, I don't know, if she could see him or something like that. Yeah.
dude,
Yeah,
if she's
and-
like trying to scrabble up that, Oscar just hoists her and
Just
places
like,
her
boost,
on
give me
top
a
of that ledge. Yeah, you just get a little.
Yeah, so Gogo, you're very aware that the reason why they do this, and this was probably set up by your father, by Felix.
Yeah.
The reason they do it is to protect their assets, right?
Yeah, so they have a ship to come back to, and it doesn't
right.
get
It doesn't get
marauded just like everything else. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's they're usually like directional charges so that no damage comes to the ship, but typically there's like a lot of first of all, your father's very good at this. So it'd be very hard to get in there. You know it would be very hard to get in there. And you also know that there is probably like one path to make it through all of that, but it probably involves something that only your father would have knowledge of.
Me getting a better vantage point, do I see anything off in the
So
distance or another?
yeah, I'm gonna move your character so you can see things. So first of all, it's the first time you've been up here, so here's what up here looks like.
Great, good.
You look across to the plateau over here, and this is what it looks like. You can see there's this big marshy area that kind of looks like it almost looks like it is like a lake of debris, because all around the edges of it, you can see that like the rock is actually cut out, and it almost looks like it's moving, like kind of rising and falling, almost as if there's like the like water would be rising and falling, but it's just like there's weird debris, and maybe there's something weird going on with the stone there. In addition, the other vantage point is over here, so you see what this looks like. There's a large crater right over here in this direction, where a bunch of landmines exploded, because fortune.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because why wouldn't they have?
Right. So, other than that, you can see that there seems to be a heavy concentration of debris in... Draw again. Easiest. There seems to be a heavy concentration of debris right in this area here. And as you look at it, because you roll a 12, well, you can't see all of it, but now it should be. So there's a heavy concentration of debris right in here, right in this area, and I think that you notice that it appears it kind of goes into the side of the hill. Like there's debris that's been piled up and like kind of shoved in that direction. So maybe in there somewhere would be reasonable.
Okay. And to what I can see, the wires and charges end approximately how far over?
They're usually just in the very local vicinity of the ship.
Right. So like that whole area would be safe to walk. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
Okay. So yeah, I scrabble down and then point in this direction.
Yeah. And as you do,
but also overcomes make note of the hot mess and scariness that is just north of us.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So as you do,
what all do you say about this, by the way? Because like Jordan gave us as players some info about like the shaped charges, but
yeah,
like are you relaying anything about what you know about this? Or
yeah, I think the whole time I
it?
was up there, everything I saw I would be pointing out to you. I would tell you that the charges from the ship are very typical. Like, oh yeah, my dad would do that all the time. Like, there's probably only one way in. We shouldn't even bother.
Okay.
I don't know that I would know what, like, Gogo as Gogo would know what was going on to the north of us, so I would just describe it as my eyes see it. Yeah. But then also I would say that something tells me this is the best bet, this rubble here.
When you say that they're probably laid out to avoid damaging the ship, Oscar says to that, he says, well, if you all step back, I could set them off from a safe distance. I don't think we can proceed without doing something about them. At this point, that ship is not our way off the planet anyhow.
It might trigger some more attention from some beasties, though, if it's unnecessary.
Yeah, let's not do that then.
Where's your sense of adventure, Fortune?
Those things are big. No thanks. I'm satisfied with the 3 that we ran off. Well, the 2 that we ran off and the 1 that exploded.
Shrug.
So, Gogo, as you approach over here, you notice that what you saw to be the rubble, like kind of like smashed up against the side of the cliff, it actually appears like there might be a tunnel back there that you could enter.
Is it a secret tunnel?
It might it might indeed be a secret tunnel that you might be able to enter at some point.
Secret tunnel. Okay.
And it's very dark, obviously. But I think that just before we go to break, you're kind of like laying down on the rubble, like looking in, and you see off in the distance a very weak blinking light. And you recognize it immediately to be one of your father's markers inside of this complex. So, that's a great place to take our break.
This has been a very busy session. We're only at the midway mark, and we still have all.
Yeah. So let's take.
Shit.
Let's be back a little bit later. We went a little bit long. Let's be back at like 20 after.
Cool.
Fine.
Everyone?
Okay.
Cool.
Sure.
We will see everybody in just a few minutes.